Welcome yogis. Hello, my name is Jason Gorenstein and this is our Hatha Yoga Level 1-2 class. Today being Friday, June the 26th, 2020. The time is just about 12 o'clock. This is a pre-recorded class, so hopefully you guys can join us for this class as we begin our yoga practice together for today. And as we begin today's practice, we're going to come into a seated cross-legged position with our eyes closed and our breath long and slow. So without further ado, let us begin. So as you feel ready, just begin to come into a cross-legged position here. And see that your feet are flexed. So allow these feet to be flexed. Allow the breath to be long and slow and just begin to close your eyes. And as you continue to breathe here, find your way back into your breath. Begin to notice your inhalations and your exhalations. And just let your breath be long and slow. And if you can, notice the subtlety of that breath, the elongation of the breath as it moves down the body, and the exhale as it leaves through the nostrils. We're going to do a practice called Nadi shodhan. So you're going to take your pointer and your middle finger, you're going to place them into your wrist of your palm. You're going to cover up the left nostrils. Inhale, breathe in through the right. And then you're going to cover up the right and exhale, breathe out through the left. Inhale in through the left. Cover up. Exhale, breathe out through the right. Inhaling in through the right. Covering up the right. Exhale, breathing out through the left. Do this a few more times on your own. Inhale left. Cover up left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Cover up right. Exhale through left. And then release the hands down to the sides. And just let that breath be long and slow here. Good. And as you feel ready, flutter the eyes open. And you're going to come onto your hands and your knees. As you find your way onto your hands and your knees, spread across the fingers here. Firm the outer upper arms in. Press down through the tops of the feet. Inhale, float the thigh bones back, downward facing dog pose. So as you take downward facing dog pose here, release the head down towards the mat. Lift their inner forearms up, wrap the outer triceps in. And continue to breathe here as you hug that belly in towards the spine. And lengthening through the chest, the heart, the sternum here. You spread across the fingers. Continue to breathe. Good. As you inhale, shift forward into plank pose. Press down through the forearms, press down through the wrists, press down through the fingers. See that you're hugging your outer upper arms in. Belly hugs in. And as you exhale, glide those hips on back, downward facing dog pose again. And downward facing dog pose, shift forward into plank, top of a push-up. Keep pressing the belly in. You keep hugging the belly in. Keep taking the thigh bones back, lifting the chest on forward. As you exhale, glide those hips on back, downward facing dog. One more time, shift forward into plank. All right, this time lower those knees down to the mat. Lower the chest all the way down to the mat. Inhale, peel up the chest, heart, and sternum here for cobra. Exhale, lower that head on down. So walk the hands back. See that the hands are hugging against the sides of the ribs. Draw the elbows in. Breathe here as you press down through the fingertips and begin to push the mat forward towards the front of the room as you lengthen the chest up. Draw the shoulder blades in towards the center chest and breathe here. So you take the collarbones down the spine. Tuck the toes underneath. Press down through the feet. Float the thighs back, downward facing dog pose. And breathe here. Downward facing dog pose, you're going to step the right foot in between the hands. Release the left knee down. Inhale, float both arms up towards the ceiling. So raise up through the fingers. See that that left calf draws down. See that that left thigh draws back. Let the buttocks release down towards the heels. And breathe here as you look up towards the fingers. Maybe the fingers touch. As you exhale, glide the hands down to the mat. Walk the right foot out to the right. And place your right hand on top of your right thigh. Draw the right outer hip in and breathe here. Lift the right arm up towards the ceiling. Good. As you exhale, walk the right toes back to center. Step the right leg back. Downward facing dog pose. Downward facing dog pose, stepping the left foot in between the hands. Inhale, floating the arms up towards the ceiling, raising up through those fingers. So as you raise up through the fingers, wrap the outer armpits in. Breathe as you lengthen through the chest, the heart, the sternum. Take the hands down to the mat. So from here, walk the left foot out to the left. Place your left hand on top of that left thigh. Drive the left outer hip in. Inhale, float your left arm up. And breathe here. So continue to lengthen through the chest, the heart, the sternum. And as you exhale, glide that left hand on down. Step the left foot back. Find your way back into downward facing dog pose. Good. Downward facing dog pose. Begin to walk both feet forward towards the hands. Inhale, lengthen the chest halfway up. As you exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, spin the arms up towards the ceiling. Urdhva Hastasana arms. Bring the palms together to touch. As you exhale, glide the fingers out to the sides. So inhale, float your arms up and overhead. As you exhale, hinge and fold here. Inhale, lengthening through the chest, the heart, the sternum. So take the hands back down to the mat. Walk the feet back. Find your way into plank pose. And plank pose, lower the knees down, lower the chest all the way down. Good. Now take your hands, walk them against the side ribs. Inhale, peel the chest on up. And as you exhale, tuck the toes underneath, float the thighs back, downward facing dog pose. Step the right foot in between the hands. Spin the left heel down. As you press in through the right ball of the foot, draw the right side of the chest up. Lift the arms up towards the ceiling, Warrior One pose. Warrior One pose, straighten across that right leg and bend deeply into that right knee. As you exhale, glide those hands back down, release the right leg back, and we're going to move forward through a vinyasa. So you can always lower the knees down or you can bend down halfway. Inhale, peel up the chest. Exhale, pressing the thighs on back, downward facing dog. So the left foot floats in between the hands, the right foot spins on out. Inhale, float those arms up. Again, straighten across that left leg. Bend deeply into that left knee. Release the hands down to the mat. Glide that left leg back. Shift forward for plank, chaturanga, upward dog, and downward facing dog pose. Now breathing here. You'll walk the feet forward towards the hands. As you inhale, you'll lengthen the chest on up. As you exhale, you'll hinge and fold. Inhale, raise the arms up towards the ceiling, Urdhva Hastasana arms. As you exhale, glide the fingers back to the sides. So inhale, we float the arms up, palms touch. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, lengthen here. So take the hands down to the mat, walk the feet on back, find your way into plank pose. Lower the knees down, lower the chest all the way down. Inhale, peel up the chest, the heart, the sternum. And as you exhale, tuck those toes underneath. Find your way back into downward facing dog pose. We're going to step the right foot in between the hands and spin that left heel down. Firm the right outer buttocks and inhale, bring your hands to your hips. Now keep a bend in that right knee and see that your left outer foot is turned in. Now straighten across that right leg for a moment. See that your right foot is parallel with the inner and outer edges of the mat. See that your right hip is driving in. Now begin to hinge at that right hip and glide your right hand down outside of your right leg. Maybe placing that hand on a block, maybe placing your other hand on your hip. As you press down through the right ball of the foot, spin the right buttocks underneath the body and allow your right side of the chest to lengthen on forward. Inhale, float the left arm up towards the ceiling here. So as you root down through the right palm, draw the right outer shoulder blade in and up towards the chest and allow for both sides of the chest to lengthen up towards the armpits. Continue to breathe as you extend through the sides of the body. Inhale, floating that left arm up and bend deeply into that right knee. Warrior two. Reverse the warrior here and then windmill the hands back down to the mat. So glide your right leg back, shift forward into plank, lower those knees down, lower the chest all the way down. Inhale, peeling up the chest, heart and the sternum. As you tuck the toes underneath, float the thigh bones back, downward facing dog. Good. Downward facing dog pose, stepping the left foot in between the hands, spinning the right heel down. Walking the left toes back to center. As you firm the left outer buttocks in, breathe here and take those hands to the hips. I'm going to step to the other side so you guys can see me. Bend deeply into that knee and breathe here. Go straighten across that leg once again. Now keep your right hand on the hip. Take your left hand, place it on a block right behind the leg, and breathe here. The right hip turns down, the left ball of the foot presses down. Spin the chest up towards the ceiling. See that the left shoulder blade moves into the chest. See that the right heel presses on down. And inhale, float the right arm up. As you inhale, raise that right arm up. Bend deeply into that left knee. One more time, straighten across that left leg, and then turn your feet into parallel. Step the feet together. All right. So let's come into tree pose right now. So we'll take our left knee, bring it to a bent position, press down through the right ball of the foot. Bend into that left knee, glide the left leg up, and place the left foot into the right thigh crease. As you press the right thigh into the left foot, press the left foot into the right thigh. Take the hands to the center chest here. Continue to breathe here as you lengthen the buttocks, flesh all the way down towards the heels. See that that belly draws in. See that that chest is lengthening. Inhale, float the arms all the way up towards the ceiling here. Continue to lengthen through the chest, the heart, the sternum. Continue to breathe as you hug that belly in. Good. And as you feel ready, take the hands into the center chest. From here, interlace the fingers, press your palms forward in front of you, take your arms all the way up towards the ceiling. So keep lengthening through those back ribs as you firm the outer buttocks in. Breathe here as you spread across the fingers. Lengthen through the chest, the heart, the sternum here. And breathe. And as you feel ready, gliding that left leg down and place the hands on the hips. Right knee bends, right hip spins in, right heel comes to the left thigh. So press the left thigh into the right foot, press both hands in towards one another. And as you feel ready, interlace the fingers here, press your palms forward in front of you, take your arms all the way up towards the ceiling. Press the right foot into the left thigh, press the left thigh into the right foot, and breathe here. And continue to lengthen through the chest, the heart, the sternum as you do so. And breathe. Take those hands into the center chest. Release that right foot on down. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling. Urdhva Hastasana arms as you exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, lengthen here. So take the hands down to the mat. Walk the feet on back. Find your way into downward facing dog pose. Downward facing dog pose. Lower the knees down to the mat. Inhale, peeling up the chest, heart, and sternum. As you exhale, hinging the hips and rounding through the spine. As you inhale here, peeling that chest on up, lengthening through the chest, heart, and sternum. As you exhale, rounding across the spine. One more time. Inhale, peeling up, chest, heart, and sternum. Tuck the toes underneath. Float the thighs back. Downward facing dog pose. Good. Downward facing dog pose, lowering those knees down to the mat. Stepping the right foot in between the hands. Pressing the left ball of the foot down, lifting that left leg up. Spin the left heel down to the mat. Take the hands to the hips and straighten across the right leg. So one more time, we see that the right foot is in a straight line here. See that that left foot is turned in. You'll bend deeply into that right knee. Place your right forearm on the right thigh. And as you continue to breathe here, spin your chest up towards the ceiling. So the right buttocks hugs underneath you. Press down through the right ball of the foot. Feel the right heel pressing down as you rebound through the right inner ankle. And then press down through the left outer foot as well. Inhale, float the left arm up. Continue to breathe here as you lengthen through the chest, the heart, the sternum. As you inhale, raise that arm up, warrior two, straighten across that right leg. Again, hinge at that right hip and bring your right hand down to the mat. Maybe you can place your hand on a block as well if you'd like. So from here, you're going to place your left hand down on the left hip, bend that right knee, step the left foot in, step the right foot forward, and then inhale, float that left leg up. So as you draw the right hip in, spin the left foot down towards the mat. Inhale, lifting up through the left arm. Continue to breathe here as you lengthen through the chest, the heart, the sternum. Bend through that right knee, softly release that right foot down, and take your left arm all the way up towards the ceiling. Inhale, float that left arm up, bend into that right knee, and then straighten across that leg. Turn both feet to parallel, turn both feet to the opposite side. So we'll start here. Bend deeply into that knee. Good. Then you'll place your left forearm on top of the left thigh. Right hand on the right hip. Press down to the right pinky toe side of the foot. Inhale, float the right arm up towards the ceiling. Bend deeply into that left knee. Glide the right hand back. Glide the right hand forward. Glide the right arm up and over the head. So as you bend into that knee, firm your left outer buttocks in. Breathe here as you hug the belly in towards the spine. Continue to lengthen through your chest. Continue to lengthen through your heart. Continue to lengthen through your sternum. As you inhale, raise that right arm up. Glide the right arm up, so come back into warrior two and straighten across that left leg. Hands come to the hips here. Breathe as you lengthen through the chest. As you exhale, glide the hands down the legs. Bring the hands down to the mat, Prasarita Padottanasana A. Walk the hands back and just release the head on down. So as you breathe here, see that the weight is even in the feet. See that the inner arms are drawing in and up. See that the head is releasing down. Shift the weight forward from the heels to the toes. And breathe here. And then take the hands to the hips, press down through the balls of the feet. Inhale, lift the chest. Spin both feet over to the right, bend deeply into that right knee. Release the hands down to the mat, step the right leg back, shift forward into plank. Lower those knees down, lower the chest all the way down towards the mat. Good. You'll take the forehead down. You'll take the fingers, interlace the fingers here. And as you pull the elbows towards one another, lift the chest, lengthen the heart, chest, and sternum here. Float the right leg up, firm the right outer thigh in. And breathe here. Lower that right foot down. Press the right foot down. Inhale, float the left leg up. Breathe here. Lower that left foot down. Release the entire chest down to the mat. Turn the head down to one side. Take the hands, press the palms down. Inhale, lift the chest up. And find your way back into downward facing dog pose. Downward facing dog pose, spreading across the fingers. Seeing that those outer heels are releasing down towards the mat. And breathing here. So downward facing dog pose, as you hold this pose, it's an opportunity to really feel into the arms and the legs. The pelvis is lifting up towards the ceiling. The arms are driving forward. The legs are driving back. And you feel the pelvis lifting up. You'll walk the feet forward towards the hands. And as you inhale here, lengthen the chest halfway. As you exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling, Urdhva Hastasana arms, and as you exhale, glide the fingers back down to the sides. Interlace the fingers behind the back body. Inhale, peel the chest on up, lifting up through the heart, chest, and sternum. On the exhale, glide your arms up and over the head as you wrap the outer shoulder blades in. Inhale, peeling up through the chest. Hugging the fingers in, pressing the palms forward in front of you. Inhale, raising the arms up towards the ceiling. Gliding the fingers over to one side, back to center. Gliding the fingers over to the other side, back to center. And then releasing the palms down to the sides. As you feel ready here, inhale, float the arms up and above the head. As you exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, lengthening through the chest, the heart, the sternum. As you take the hands down to the mat, walk the feet back, find your way into downward facing dog pose. Downward facing dog pose, lowering the knees down to the mat. Interlacing the forearms here and coming into forearm plank. Stepping your left leg back, stepping your right leg back. So see that your wrists are pressing down, see that your forearms are pressing down, see that you're wrapping your outer upper arms in. So you're walking the feet forward so that your heels are directly over your toes. Belly's hugging in, press down, and hug that belly in. Good, release those knees down to the mat. Now take the hands down to the mat, float the thighs back, downward facing dog pose. Downward facing dog pose, walk the feet forward towards the hands. Take the hands to the shins, inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling, Urdhva Hastasana arms, and as you exhale, glide the fingers down to the sides. Hands come to the hips once again. You're going to take the left knee, bend it, place it over top of the right leg. You're going to take the arms up, you're going to bend the elbows, you're going to draw the left elbow under the right. Lift the elbows up. Keep breathing here as you lengthen across the chest, shoulders, and spine. And as you exhale, hinge on forward here and breathe. And breathing into the body. And inhale, lifting up. Hands come to the hips. We're going to do the other side. So you're going to take your right leg over the left. You're going to bring your right arm under the left. Inhale, lift those elbows up. As you exhale, glide on forward. Glide on forward and breathe here. Inhale, lifting on up. Uncrossing the legs, taking the palms out to the sides and breathing here. Good. So as you feel ready, interlace the fingers, press the palms forward in front of you, take the arms all the way up towards the ceiling. And take the arms over to the right. And back to center again. And taking the fingers over the left. And back to center again. And as you feel ready here, bring your hands down to the mat. And release the head on down. Good. All right, so one more time. Let's step the right foot in between the hands. Let's press the left foot down. Inhale, lift the left leg up. Spin the left heel down. Bring the hands to the hips and straighten across that right leg. So once again here, hinge at that right hip. Bring the right hand down towards the mat. You can obviously place your hand on a block if you'd like, and left hand comes to the left hip. Good. Now look down at the floor and begin to breathe as you bend that right knee to 90 degrees. Step the right foot forward or block forward of the foot. Step the left foot in. You don't even need a block. You can just lift that left leg up. As you lift the left leg up, rotate the outer left hip in. Firm the left buttocks in. Good. Firm the right buttocks in so that you can feel the right ball of the foot pressing down. Now inhale, float that left arm up towards the ceiling here. Continue to breathe as you rotate the left outer leg down towards the mat. See that you're lengthening through the chest, the heart, the sternum. As you bend deeply into that right knee, you'll release the left leg on down. You'll come back to standing here, and you'll spin both feet over to the other side. So gliding that left hip back, right arm extends up towards the ceiling here. Keep breathing as you press through the left ball of the foot. Keep breathing as you press through the right outer foot. And then from here, as you feel ready, right hand comes to the right hip, bend that left knee. Inhale, float the right arm up towards the ceiling. Raise up through the right fingers. So spin that right outer hip down. Press the right thigh back. Firm the left buttocks in. And continue to lengthen through both sides of the chest here. So spin the left shoulder blade in towards the socket. Spread across both shoulders and continue to lengthen through that right leg. As you exhale, bend that left knee. Release that left palm on down. So we come back to triangle and inhale, float the arms up. Let's take our feet to parallel and interlace the fingers here. See that the fingers draw down the spine, lift the chest, heart, and sternum. And as you exhale, glide the arms up over the head. Continue to wrap those outer arms in so you're pressing down through the four corners of the feet. Feel the inner kneecaps lifting up. Feel the outer thighs wrapping in. And breathe here as you release the head all the way down towards the mat. Keep shifting that weight forward, heels to toes. And inhale, lift the chest on up. Hands come to the hips. Step the feet back together. And take the arms out to the sides. Interlace the fingers here. Press the palms forward in front of you. Take the arms all the way up towards the ceiling here. Lengthen across the chest, the heart, the sternum. Keep pressing down through the feet. Keep lengthening through those side ribs. Glide the arms over to your right. Back to center. Glide the arms over to your left. Back to center. And release the arms down and out to your sides. Good. Okay. So once again, let's come into downward facing dog pose here. Downward facing dog pose, spread across the fingers. Wrap your outer armpits in. Breathe here as you lengthen across the spine. Good. As you feel ready, you're going to step the right foot in between the hands. Spin the left heel down. Warrior One pose again. So remember, we started here. Let's straighten across that right leg. From Warrior One, let's straighten across that right leg. Let's take our hands to the hips and step our left foot in. Now spin the left hip to the right foot. Bring your hands up your back and place your fingers together so your palms are touching in Paschima Namaskar. Rasana. Press your left heel down. Keep drawing your left hip back, or left hip forward. Keep pressing your right ball of the foot down. Keep driving your right hip back. So breathe here as you lengthen across the chest, the heart, the sternum. Continue to lengthen here. And as you inhale, lengthen through the chest and up. Bend deeply into that knee. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling. As you straighten across that leg, exhale, take the hands down to the mat. And just release the head here. This is called Parsva Release the head down. Breathe here. Draw the right outer hip back. Glide the left outer hip forward. And then as you feel ready, step the right leg back. Shift forward into plank pose. Lower the knees down, lower the chest all the way down. Inhale, peel up the chest, heart, and sternum. And as you exhale, pressing up and back, downward facing dog pose. Downward facing dog pose, stepping the left foot in between the hands, spinning the right heel out. Take the hands to the hips. Drive the right hip forward, drive the left hip back. Bring your hands up your spine and breathe here. So press down through that right heel. Press down through the right pinky toe side of the foot. Lengthen the left side of the chest forward. All the way forward. So we come into Paschima Namaskar. And press down through the left big toe mound of the foot. Drive the left outer hip back. Press down through the right heel. Drive the right hip forward. As you inhale, lift the chest on. Bend into that knee. Arms come up. Take the hands and place the hands down to either side of that foot. Release the head on down. And breathe here. And then as you feel ready, bending into that left knee, stepping that left leg back, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog pose, lower those knees down to the mat. Once again, interlace the fingers here. Press down through the forearm, rest and finger, walk the legs back, come into your forearm plank pose. So press down through the feet, firm the belly in, hug in through those thighs, press down, hug in the nape. And then as you feel ready here, walk the feet in. You're going to come into a variation pose, which is called Dolphins Pose. Continue to press down through the wrists, the forearms, the fingers, lifting the inner arms up, wrapping the outer armpits in, and breathe. And then as you exhale, release those knees on down. All right. So from here, we're going to begin to move into headstand. So to teach headstand, you're going to take your hands and you're going to place your hands along the sides of your ears. So take your hands, place your hands along the sides of your ears and just glide your hands up to the crown of your head. The very soft point at the top of the head, that's the crown of the head. That's where your head is going to be in this pose. And you're going to line up to the wall and set up in that way. So you'll begin to take your mat to the wall. You'll have everything set up. And then from here, you're going to take Dolphins Pose. So the other component of this pose that's very important is the fingers are going to be interlaced, and you're going to hug your forearms in towards the head. Hug the forearms into the head. So you're going to kind of hug in here. And that gives us this ability to allow ourselves to kind of maintain a lift in the body. So as we interlace the hands, you'll release the head down. Walk the feet forward. Take the right leg up. Take the left leg up. And bring the legs to the wall. So if you're not, I'm going to share something with you guys before I come up. If you're not able to hold Dolphins Pose for a minute, please don't come up. The other thing is if you have any history of stroke, any history of head injury, neck injury, spine injury, glaucoma, anything where you have trauma to your head, neck, vertigo, etc., please don't come up into headstand. You can just take legs up the wall. So you'll just take your hips, you'll bring your hips right next to the wall, and you'll sweep your legs up the wall. So just like this. This is if you have any injury, you'll take that pose. If you don't, you can try headstand. If you're working Dolphins Pose, just continue to breathe here as you lift the head up and just continue to build the strength in the arms. So that's so important here. That's most of the pose. Otherwise, you'll release the head on down, you'll scoop those legs on in, and you'll take the feet up the wall. So see that you continue to press down through the forearm, wrists, and fingers. You'll press the heels into the wall, press the thighs back, and continue to lift the chest. So the belly hugs in here, and we're breathing. And as you take headstand, this is a great opportunity for all of us to begin to be with the breath. Why I particularly like headstand is because it allows for the body to be in an upside down way. Another thing I really like about this pose, so we have this cerebrospinal fluid, and it actually moves through the brain all the way down the spine and all the way from the spine all the way to the brain. And it goes in this way. And that spinal fluid, that when we do this pose, it's circulating through the body. So this gives us a nice opportunity to just sit and relax and reflect. Being with your breath,
Firm that belly in. See that the navel is hugging in towards the spine. And we're usually up in headstand anywhere between 3 and 5 minutes, so you can come down at any point you want. I haven't really been teaching any actions in this pose. I apologize. I'm just kind of holding us here just to give us an opportunity to be in the pose. Belly in, thigh bones back, navel to spine, press through the fingers, float the outer arms up and in, breathe. Lower that right leg down, lower the left leg down. Good, and as you feel ready, spread across the fingers, float the thigh bones up. Downward facing dog pose. And from downward facing dog pose, you'll lower the knees down to the mat. You'll take the knees a little bit wider apart, release the head on down. And breathe here. And you'll take your legs forward in front of you. And you'll come onto your back. Hug those knees into the chest here. So a great counter pose to headstand is shoulder stand. So what we're going to do is we're going to take bridge pose instead. You're going to take the knees, bend the knees, just let the knees drift over towards the right elbow here. And you feel that nice little twisting stretch in the body. And turn the head to the other direction. And let's change sides. Good, draw those knees back to center. Take the hands, bring them on, hold of the outer edges of the mat, roll the shoulders under, lift the pelvis up. Interlace the fingers here. So roll the shoulders under, lift the pelvis up. So this is as we move into our bridge pose, Supta Bandha Sarvanyasana. Press down through the forearms, feel the shoulder blades moving into the center chest. Press down through the toes, feel the thigh bones drawing down as you hug the belly in. Lengthen the tailbone towards the heels. Exhale, lower on down. So typically, we don't take shoulder stand with no props. You can take it for a moment if you want, but just be very mindful here. If you have any history of neck issues, please do not take this pose. Please do not turn your head at all while you take the pose. You're going to take the legs, drift them over the head, maybe roll your shoulders under just like we just did, and then take your hands to the back. Take your right leg, extend it up. Take your left leg, extend it up. Hands are on the back. You're breathing here. So you walk your hands down the spine towards the shoulder blades and you lift through the chest. And this is the ultimate counter pose to headstand. Press down through the triceps, firm in the belly. As you exhale, lower those legs on down. You can come back to Halasana. Take the arms over the head slowly. Use your core. Look up towards the ceiling as you release those legs on down. Bring the knees back to a bend position. What I'd recommend doing here is crossing the feet and then taking your blocks and just supporting them underneath the legs here. And take the opposite way with the legs. And last but not least, just extend your legs all the way forward. You'll just be here for a minute or so. This is called Shavasana. Palms can be at your sides. Breath is long and slow. Good, and bend those knees. And you'll roll over onto your side. You'll press your way on up. You'll find your way back into a seated position. As you find your way into a seated position, recross the legs. Bring your hands into the center chest. And as you exhale, just release the chin towards the chest. Lift the head, open the eyes. Namaste. Thank you, yogis, so much. I hope you have a phenomenal rest of your day. As I usually share with you all, my friends, be well, be happy. Namaste. As you continue to watch, let's see what we have here. All right, so as you feel ready, thank you guys so much. I hope that you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. My name is Jason Gorenstein. This is our Hatha Yoga Level 1-2 class. We do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 p.m. And I hope that you have a beautiful day, yogis. Let me know if you guys have any questions. If you're watching on YouTube, please feel free to subscribe. If you're watching on Facebook, hit the like button. Also awesome to hear your comments and sharing. If you feel like contributing via Venmo, please feel free to do so. I hope that you guys all have a phenomenal day. So nice to see you, yogis. Thank you so much. Be well. Be happy, my friends. Namaste.